Hey there guys, how's it going, and welcome to my top 10 most overpowered guns in Call of Duty history. Now this was going to be a top 5, but there are so many weapons throughout the Call of Duties that are really strong and on a kind of similar playing field that I really had a lot of trouble narrowing it down to just 5, so I decided just for this one to make it a top 10. So without further ado, let's get on with the countdown. At number 10, I've decided to go with the Model 1887 Akimbos from Modern Warfare 2. Now, without a doubt, this was one of the most overpowered things ever in Call of Duty, and the only reason it's not higher in the countdown is the fact that it was patched quite early on in the game. So it's not really something that was too prevalent throughout the life cycle of the game, but when it was there, it was ridiculous. So starting us off at number 10, the Akimbo Model 1887s from Modern Warfare 2. At number 9, I'm going to go with the M27 LMG from Call of Duty Ghost. Now this thing is an absolute laser beam, and normally a gun like this wouldn't be too overpowered in a Call of Duty, but Ghost is so slow paced and a lot of people are just sitting back aiming down sight that this LMG is incredibly strong, great over an extreme range, doesn't recoil much at all, and many a time I've been just mowed down by this thing. And there are a lot of defensive players in Ghost and a lot of them using this weapon and doing some serious damage. So number 9 is the M27 from Call of Duty Ghosts. At number 8, I've decided to go with the Type 95 from Modern Warfare 3. When you paired this thing with steady aim, it was an absolute hip-fire beast, almost like a shotgun. It would two-shot people at close range, and with decent hip-fire, it made it ridiculous. The amount of times I had people just swing around and turn on me and just do a random burst and take me out was out of control. Funnily enough, it's not actually that great over long range. It's okay, its time to kill is pretty average for a burst weapon, but it was the fact that at close range, with steady aim added as well, it was just so powerful that there was many a rage quit that happened after being spammed by this thing. So number 8, the Type 95 from Modern Warfare 3. At number 7, I'm going with the Remington from COD Ghost. This one is a beast for when you aim down sight. Extremely powerful over any range and also quite good at close quarters. If you just aim down sight beforehand so you don't lose out on that slow aim down sight time, you can just absolutely obliterate people. And this is the gun that when I go online and I see I get instantly melted, it is 9 times out of 10 the Remington. So strong, kills so quick in a low health game that it is definitely going in this countdown at number 7. At number 6, I'm going for the ACR from Modern Warfare 3, otherwise known as the laser beam. If you stuck kick on this thing, it was just beyond ridiculous. I really couldn't believe it when I first used this weapon. The lack of recoil, the high fire rate, the decent mobility, the decent reload speed made this extremely strong. I used to like using it with marksmen as well. It was really easy to kill people at range considering that low recoil and having them pointed out to you with that red name above their head. So just really probably the lowest recoil assault rifle that's ever been in Call of Duty, and for that reason it was just an absolute beast. So in at number 6, the ACR from Modern Warfare 3. Moving on to number 5, and we're really getting into the heavy hitters of Call of Duty history here. This is the FAL OSW or FAL from Black Ops 2, and I remember my first few times using this weapon just thinking, what the frick is this all about? Why have I not been using this more often? You could actually go select fire with it as well, and the fact that it was a 2-shot kill over most ranges just made it ridiculous for players with good accuracy. I like to put select fire on it, maybe run stock and a red dot sight, and you can just absolutely destroy people. It will outgun anything as long as you're accurate. Don't get me wrong, this gun isn't for everything, for everyone even, and some of these guns you do have to be quite good accuracy wise to make the most of their overpowered abilities, but if you can have a high accuracy and you aim down sight a lot with this weapon, you'll just melt people 9 times out of 10. So number 5, the FAL from Black Ops 2. At number 4 we have our only weapon from Black Ops 1. This is the FAMAS or FAMAS depending on your preferred pronunciation, but there were so many attributes to this that made it an absolute beast. It was a bit like a submachine gun but with the range of an assault rifle. It had extremely fast fire rate, it had extremely good hip fire, and it had extremely manageable and quite low recoil as well. It also had a quite fast reload, so this was just a beast of a gun to run around with and run and gun with, and you could also pick people off at quite long range due to the fact it is an assault rifle and it does have that decent damage over range. So an absolute beast. Another one out of these weapons. A lot of these weapons in this countdown got patched a bit at some points, but still, even with the patch, an absolute beast of a weapon for number 4. At number 3 we have probably the most ridiculous weapon from World at War, the MP40. A lot of you people who have been playing Call of Duty a while will remember this beast, especially when you went on steady aim and then hip fired. You would get so many headshots with it. I don't know why, if it was just a headshot magnet for some reason, but you could just run and gun like an absolute monster, run around with Juggernaut or stopping power. Juggernaut would just mean that you would win most of your gunfights because you could take a bit more damage, and then the stopping power would mean you would win a lot of gunfights because sometimes you get a 2-hit kill with a headshot. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it did have a decent amount of recoil, but if you just run around like a madman, hip firing and then occasionally picking people off from a distance, and you can manage that recoil, it was by far the strongest weapon in multiplayer. So number 3 is the MP40 from World at War. At number 2 now, I've gone for the MP7 from Modern Warfare 3. So many attributes to this gun that made it absolutely ridiculous. It had high fire rate, it had decent range, it had barely any recoil, and it had fast mobility, fast aim down sight, decent hip spread as well when you aimed from the hip. So this thing was just a monster. I mean, so many Moabs were caused by this weapon. I remember my man Zafires, he would use nothing but the MP7, and why would you use anything else? Just that recoil alone, or should I say lack of recoil, made this thing so strong, and putting a suppressor on it as well didn't really seem to alter the damage of it too much. So an absolute monster from Modern Warfare 3, one of the strongest guns in the history of Call of Duty, the MP7 from Modern Warfare 3. At number 1, what else could it be? The UMP45 from Modern Warfare 2. This was the last game to have stopping power as a perk available, and this combination of this weapon and stopping power was just absolutely ridiculous. You would get 2-shot kills so often at close range. It also had an extremely long 3-hit kill range, and even 4. You would get so many long range kills if you just picked your shots. As long as you had stopping power, having a suppressor didn't really seem to change anything. And when I ran around with this recently, running and gunning, it was just so much fun to use. This is probably the most fun weapon that's been in Call of Duty ever as well. It just feels so satisfying to melt people and just chew through them with this UMP that it's probably my favourite gun of all time, and I would put it under the most overpowered just because of that extremely strong damage profile. So number 1, the UMP from Modern Warfare 2. So that wraps it up for my top 10 most overpowered weapons in Call of Duty history. As always, leave your comments down below letting me know what you think should have been in the countdown, what your preferred top 10 would be, what would you have at number 1, what would you have that wasn't in this countdown, and so on. Also, don't forget to smash the like button as well if you did enjoy this video. I really appreciate your support, and a quick like really helps me out and helps publish the video. Also, if you don't mind checking out G2A in the link below, I've got a sponsor there that will give you cheap PC games, Xbox Live points, PSN credit, really great prices and instant codes over there, so check them out, well worth getting a bargain. That's it for now guys, and I'll see you next time.
It's constantly changing, always rearranging, always rearranging, always rearranging.